Hi, Julie. It's really nice to meet you today. I just want to start by thanking you for coming in today. I know that sometimes even logging on to a meeting like this can take a lot of courage, especially when you may be carrying, difficult experiences. So I really appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Um, how are you feeling today? Can you tell me that?
I feel a little nervous, a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Many other people have actually shared this, sentiment, especially during this initial or kind of first meeting, especially with a new therapist. You're not alone in that. So I don't want you to feel singled out in any way. You are going to be in control kind of the pace of these sessions. So we can go really slow or we could, go moderately. There's no pressure to dive into anything you're not ready for just yet.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. So before we get any further into today, I do just want to get to know you a little bit. So there's no kind of like right way or wrong way to do this. We could talk about what may have brought you here. We could talk about, something lighter. It could, be how this week has been, or maybe how today's been since it's midweek, Wednesday, hump day, whatever is something that's going to make you comfortable in this new space. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Um, well, I came in today just to kind of because I've been struggling the past few months. My best friend of my whole entire life got into a car accident and passed away. So I've just been struggling.
Wow.
But yeah, yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That is very difficult and, hard to manage. So I'm really thankful that you came in today and, you're sharing this with me and trusting me with this information so that maybe I can try and help you, juggle these difficult times and help you navigate further going forward and, take some steps to see what you would like to do. Could we take just a couple of minutes to share what therapy might look like for you? And then, you could let me know what feels like a good fit to go forward.
Yeah. I've been pretty hesitant to come to therapy because growing up it was never like supported, I guess. Mental health and or anything like that wasn't like my parents didn't agree with it and we were always just told to tough it out and get through our emotions. But I want to be better. I want to go move on with my daily life and just learn how to move on and I can't keep living like this. So I guess that's kind of what therapy would look like for me.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. That really kind of helps me pinpoint where I'm able to take sessions with you each time as we progress further and further. I do just want to say today that, this space is yours. I want you to feel comfortable. My job is only to support you in healing, not to judge you or, rush you into things, but to just kind of, walk aside and guide you. We'll work together to understand how your past experiences, that you just kind of shared a little bit about might be affecting your present and how we could create new ways to help you feel safe, connected, and maybe a little bit more control in your life. And I do also just want to let you know that you could tell me to pause or we need to take, a couple seconds break. We could change topics at any time as well if you feel uncomfortable or bothered by a certain question or maybe even topic. You basically just never have to talk about anything that you're not ready to. You are the expert in the experience. I'm not. I have not lived them. You have. Okay.
Okay.
One thing though that helps individuals who have experienced, traumatic events like an accident, or, hearing about it, things like that, is creating that sense of safety as well as predictability going forward. So every session, I will start just by checking in with you, like I did today, asking how you're feeling, how are things going. And then, at the end or towards the end of each session, I'm going to take just a couple minutes to ground, and make sure that you are leaving the session feeling as steady as possible. Is that okay if we could try that structure today?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So since, we are meeting virtual and we're not meeting in the office, I do just want to acknowledge it's a little bit different, than being in person, and it may be different than what you have experienced in the past when you were younger. It can sometimes help when you make sure that you physically feel comfortable in your space, or your environment or the room that you may be in. So is there anything like around the room that may help you feel grounded? It could be, a fuzzy blanket or a really soft or heavy blanket. Maybe it's a nice pillow that you could put behind you and kind of sit in front of. um,
Yeah, I'm in a pretty comfortable chair right now, and then I have a blanket right here, and if I need it, just in case.
Awesome. That's
Yeah,
perfect. Honestly, that those items can be really comforting. And I want to make sure that you feel comfortable in these sessions. So please, feel free to grab those, adjust your space however you may need at any time. And I do just want to let you know that I am in a private, confidential space on my end. So everything you share is protected. If anything ever feels uncomfortable, or, if there is tech issues like hearing or things like that, you can always pause or we can regroup.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Okay. So can you tell me whether you would be open to exploring new ways to help your body feel a little bit more settled?
Absolutely. Yes, 100%. Yes.
Awesome. So we're just going to try something small. We're just going to kind of focus and, be aware of our breath. Or it could be, since you said you were sitting in a comfortable chair, it could be putting your feet on the floor, sitting in the chair, and you could either just have them sitting there, or you could kind of even put some pressure into the ground, really feel like your feet going into there, almost like maybe you're standing up. And tell me, see how that feels. And I'll do it too.
Okay.
So you're not alone in it.
It feels like an off weight of like balance. It feels like that energy is kind of going somewhere else.
Right, exactly. So a lot of times, grounding exercises are very beneficial for individuals because they're able to pull, their thoughts or their feelings from another area in their body to somewhere else, whether it be their feet, or whether, they are putting pressure somewhere else, whether they're laying on their back, or different things like that can be very helpful. So great work.
Thank
Um,
you.
it's really important, and I'm glad that you were able to notice that today. So as going forward, we'll just kind of build, from these simple exercises to a little bit more complex exercises. And each time I'll guide you, just like today, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. I appreciate how thorough you were during this first session with me. It helps with making me more comfortable.
Absolutely. Sometimes individuals don't really know what to expect, or, they don't really know what therapy is. So I really like to try and have the individual and you guys are the experts on your experience. So I like to just be by your side and have you kind of be the lead point. Uh,
Yeah, I'm excited to start this process with you and with myself to kind of work through everything going on. And you really did help make me feel more open and comfortable today.
Wonderful. Awesome. You did something really important. You came and you showed up, you stayed present, you engaged with me. These are all wonderful things, and we'll just kind of take it, from there. And I will see you next week. We can make an appointment for next week.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Wonderful. I'll see you then, Julie.
Thank you so much.